I'm just going to give you my quick impressions, my quick thoughts on The Last of Us, the TV show, on HBO, and so here we go. Okay, so I played The Last of Us video game. I actually played the remastered version, not the remake that recently came out for PS5, but the remake. And I played that, actually, ironically enough, I played that in 2020. So I was just like, oh, this is like real life, kind of. But it was an excellent video game. But I mostly enjoyed the story. And what was great about the story was the dynamic between the man, played by Troy Baker. He did the voice, and then Ellie, where are you going? And I can't remember the actress's name. Sorry, apologies. But anyway, so it was the relationship between the two characters through that world of The Last of Us, which is just a depressing, horrible world, post-apocalyptic, and it was kind of a different take on the post-apocalyptic world. And then, of course, I right after that, The Last of Us Part 2 came out. I played that a little bit, and then I just kind of got bored because I just got done playing the first one. But I got through the part, spoilers ahead, the beginning where they kill Joel, and how stupid that was. So yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to go and finish Part 2. I mean, Part 2, yeah, the graphics were really good. The mechanics, I think, were much improved. The gameplay was still a lot of fun. Still that same gameplay, but it's better. It's smoother. I don't know. That's just me. So, but anyway, so the show has come out, and then Pedro Pascal loves to take on these roles where he's leading children, magical children to save the world. So he takes over the role of Joel, and I buy it. I think he's just that much of a good actor. The character's very gruff, very. He puts people at arm's length. The death of his daughter. And now he has to take this girl, this young lady across the post-apocalyptic wasteland, more or less, to save everybody because she's immune. She's immune to this whole thing. She's immune to the fungi, and she can't get sick. She can't get infected, and so they're like, hey, we can make a cure out of her blood or something. So he's like, okay, great, we're gonna go. Let's go. And obviously, it's not that easy. I'm just not getting into details. The show isn't over. I mean, 8 episodes have aired now. This is kind of a late impressions video. There's only like 1 episode left, and maybe 10 episodes. I think there's only 9 episodes though. So yeah, it's great. The art direction is amazing. I saw some snippets of it before I actually sat down to watch the show. I saw a little clip of it, and I was like, well, I immediately recognized it. I'm like, that is The Last of Us. That's what you're watching right now, because you could see on the wall, the wallpaper's been destroyed, just the colors of everything, what everybody's wearing, it's the exact replica of what is in the video game. And the art department and everyone's done a fantastic job of just replicating the world from the game. The game really has come to life. People have said it's the best video game adaptation. Definitely. I mean, it's definitely up there. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. They should win all the art awards, or at least some of them, because it looks exactly like the video game. It feels like the video game. Everything acts and plays like the video game. Even the creatures themselves, the clickers, the ones that blow up the bloaters. Yeah, the ones that blow up. All that stuff. It's great, and really, I mean, I guess my favorite episode, well, there's a couple great episodes. I mean, let's just talk about episode 3 real quick. Nick Offerman comes out, takes on the role of Henry, and it's just a great episode about survival. It's a love story, Nick Offerman's character, and then this other guy comes along, and it's like, it was just honest storytelling. This could have gone in a totally different direction. I don't think there was any propaganda or anything. It was just an honest story about 2 people trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic world, and it was really good. But Ellie and Joel are hardly in it, the main characters, and so you could say, like, well, we really didn't need to go on this sidetrack, I mean, what does it do for the overall story? Well, all of that to say, like, that was kind of it's the kind of turning point for Joel. It's when Joel is like, okay, I'm a protector. I need to protect Ellie. I need to complete my mission. Earlier on, they lose a couple people. If you're familiar with the video game or you've already seen the show, that some people already die, the character Tess and whatnot. And so he already, Joel's character, he already feels like a failure. And so this is kind of like a reinvigorating, like, okay, yeah, I need to go and I need to protect this girl. And so that's really what the whole episode was about. And I think it was very effective. Because what they could have done is at the end of the episode, long story short, at the end of the episode, Nick Offerman and the other character, I can't remember the name, but they both die. And he writes a letter to Joel because Joel's the only one that really knows, where they're at and whatnot. And he reads the letter, and it's it's that whole thing about you need to be protective of, we're protectors. This is what we do. This is our purpose. And what they could have gone and just found the letter and read that, but instead they showed it, which is what this is. This is visual storytelling, and we're going to show the story behind that, and it just has that much more of an impact on Joel and on us as viewers, seeing literally The Last of Us just struggling to survive and finding hope and moving on. And yeah, so it was great. Episode 5, you bring in the characters Henry and his brother, which in the show he's deaf, which I think was a really good idea because it just makes him more reliant on him type of deal. There's just, I mean, the action is really great. And then skipping ahead until episode 8 is sort of kind of a side on Ellie, and really is kind of based on the DLC Left Behind. I didn't play that, but from what I'm hearing, and from what I've seen before, it was a pretty faithful adaptation. I mean, this show, it's almost too faithful, I guess, because I'm not really being surprised all that often because I've already played the game. So yeah, I guess we could talk about that stuff that. So I love all of that, but the stuff that I'm not really liking so far is that, yeah, I can predict everything. So when you're doing an adaptation of something, yeah, I want it to be faithful. I want it to be in the spirit of the book or the video game or whatever. I want it to be a faithful adaptation, but I also want the filmmakers to put some twists on some things, maybe change some things, add some characters, take out some characters, change events around, so that everyone could be a little more surprised. As long as it doesn't hurt the main story, right? I mean, Rings of Power is just a mess. That's an example of not being faithful to the storytelling at all, or the spirit of Tolkien, or any of that. It's crap. It's basically just a horrible fan show. But this does a really good job. This is really, really faithful, and that's because Mark Druckmann is in there. He was one of the co-creators of The Last of Us, and so he's the co-creator of this show, obviously. So he's there. He's like the main driving force behind it. And then you got the other guy from Chernobyl. I can't remember his name, but he's there. He directed and wrote Chernobyl. So there's a lot of really good storytelling behind this, really good creatives behind this. And yeah, I mean, like I said, the episode with Ellie and her friend, showing how she got bit for the first time, and that's based on the DLC Left Behind. And it's just, yeah, it's really good. There isn't a single episode I would say that's been wasted so far. Every episode has a point and a purpose. Everything is done to push the narrative forward. And it's been great. It's been, really, really good. Really, really good TV. But one of the things, I guess the thing that I'm not liking the most is just Bella Ramsey, the actress that plays Ellie. I think she's kind of crap. I mean, she's at least at the beginning, because she just comes off as like overconfident. She comes off as like she already knows where her character's going. She already knows what's going to happen, and she just seems like she's kind of going through the motions a little bit. As the show goes on, though, I'm really starting to warm up to her character, though, and warm up to her as playing Ellie, especially in the last couple episodes. She's really started to shine, especially, and it was either episode 4 or episode 5 with Henry and whatnot. She really is starting to show her acting chops. But I mean, really, what have we had before that? She was in Game of Thrones, and she was a Lady Mormont, right? But I mean, she didn't really have to do much acting. Their whole thing was that she's short and small, and everyone overestimates her. But then she speaks with such stoicism, and she just commands the room and whatnot. But she didn't really get to do much acting, not necessarily. So now she actually has to prove. She has to prove that she's that good. I mean, this is a huge role, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, and I think so far she's done a good. I think she was kind of crap, but now she's getting better, and I wonder if that's just not the actress, but the writing itself. That she's kind of going from, you know, overconfident and naive and whatever into now she's developing as a character. Yeah, that's fine, but at the same time, I still can't get rid of that feeling that maybe at the beginning she is just kind of going through the motions, but she gets better. So yeah, I mean, all in all, really good. I really like the show. I mean, right now I gave it a 9 out of 10, but, you know, we still got one episode left or so, so we'll see. We'll see how it all goes down. Yeah, I guess that's all I really got to say about that.